Okay, welcome back to EPIC38, powered by Intel, day 2, where we have me, Tao, and we have
Me, Seb, aka Bellator.
/Desolator, who you may have seen in a few different names over the last couple of days, where we are going to prepare to enter a game between RosscO and Aicy,
And Aicy, yeah.
which will be a PVZ. Aicy himself being a former Epic LAN Codes champion.
Certainly is.
And I believe we're just getting ready now. The lobbies should be being made. We'll just have a look at that. Yep, there we go. The lobbies are just getting in. So this is a PVZ. How do you see this going? What do you think is PVZ style at the moment? You've played RosscO.
Right, yeah. So Ross loves to play Twilight. He loves his DTs and especially his Glaive Adepts. Ross is certainly the favourite going into this. I mean, it's a good 500, 600 MMR above Aicy. However, Aicy has brought out some really tricky builds in this tournament so far.
Yeah, he's scored an upset, I believe, against, I think it was Iger.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it's certainly it's unpredictable the way Aicy will play. We don't know. He says he has a few special builds, so it would be good to see what happens.
Yeah.
In that.
Yeah, he's got his Ling Floods. I think that's how he beat Iger.
Okay, I think the players are ready. We're just doing a race check. Everything looks good. So I think we just need to say we're ready ourselves. And we can get counting down and going into the game as soon as the players are... Cool. Countdown has begun. So
and we're starting.
Yeah, we're getting into the game now. Going to be a good game. We're going to go into... we'll wait till the map loads before we introduce the map. It'll be a nice... There's a best of 3 this match, which is in the lower bracket. Yes.
Exactly.
So this is if you lose this series, you are out of the tournament.
So it's a very important match, obviously.
We are in game. We can do the player introductions and the map introductions. Do you want to begin, Seb?
So, starting in the top right, the Zerg player, we have Aicy.
That's RosscO.
Oh, RosscO. My apologies.
And then in the bottom left, playing as the yellow Zerg, representing TSI, we have Aicy.
Aicy. Good to get the players mixed up straight away. It's my first cast.
That happens. So it's a first cast.
Forgive me.
It's not as easy as it seems. It's very difficult. We are just going to get into it. We don't see any early pools. We don't see any early shenanigans. We see a gateway coming out. This is all fairly standard to begin with. We have the pro block on the hatch on the natural.
That's, you know.
How does that affect you as a Zerg? Obviously you want to take your natural as your first expansion.
Yeah.
So when you get that blocked, how much of an impact does that have?
Well, it forces you to take your third, which is annoying. Because what ends up happening is you can have drones rallying from your main to your third. So, you know, that makes them very susceptible to adepts. On the other hand, sending the probe out really early to block the hatch is a big investment for the Protoss. So as long as the Zerg reacts appropriately, you know, it should be fairly even from both sides.
Yeah, we know RosscO likes to do his adept build, so he likes to get that natural hatch block in, so that he does have that there's more distance between the sort of reinforcements coming from the main to the third if adepts show up, for example.
Yes, and you're more you have to defend the third because all your drones are there. So you know, adept shading between the second, the third, and the main can get very difficult to deal with.
Would you have creep at that point? So does it take longer for queens to come over, or would they be able to travel there if needed?
You should have creep between your second and third by the time the adepts get there. And if you don't, it's very difficult to deal with because you need your queens to be able to move freely.
Yeah, so it does look fairly standard. There's nothing particularly looking odd in this match so far. We have a standard Nexus and Cybercore just finishing up now for RosscO.
Nothing too notable at this point.
Is that an early speed? Is that a normal time for a Zergling speed?
That's fairly standard.
Fairly standard?
Should finish up about 3:30, which is when the adept should go home. And we have Twilight and a Warp Gate starting for Ross.
He is wanting to take that natural, which he has now done. So that's a third base for Aicy. We do see the Twilight for Ross,
which is his trademark. We have the adept shading out, very standard from both sides so far. Adept Stalker, so we're not going to see 2 Adepts going across the map. That's one of the options Protoss has. And again, that can be very difficult to deal with as a Zerg when you've got disjoint bases. But
absolutely, yeah. We see a Robo coming down for RosscO now. So
the big question is, are we going to see Glaives or a DT Shrine?
Yeah, which upgrade are we going to see? Or indeed a DT Shrine, yeah. It could be either. We'll wait and see what happens there. Meanwhile, just droning up here for Aicy. No real threat right now, so we do see Glaives start up. So it is going to be a Glaives build. We're going to see a Warp Prism. We're going to see Glaive Adepts hit all these bases at once, and it's really going to test Aicy's multitasking and defending here.
The big question here is Ross going to go 4 gates or 6 gates? 4 gates is still very committed, but 6 gates is most definitely an all-in. And it looks like he's going to be going for the 4 gates.
Aicy does get the scout off here. The Overlord will see the Chrono Twilight Council here, so he should be. It's not very often you see a Chrono Twilight Council and it not be Glaive Adepts in early game PvZ.
No, it's almost always Adepts, and the response is near enough the same if it's Charge or Glaives, or even it can be a Blinker all in as well, but Ross isn't very well known for this.
He has put down that Roach for him, which obviously against Adepts you will need that. You will need Roaches to defend.
Mandatory.
Zerglings alone will not provide enough defense. As we just see Ross preparing for his lining up, we're getting more Adepts warped in here with the Glaive Adept just about to finish. And does have so Aicy has a lot of queens here to defend. This is going to be, but they're all on one location at the moment. It's going to be a while before they travel somewhere. Ross decides to.
I think you should commit there. There's not enough Lings or Roaches at the moment.
We get more warp in. Roaches are on the way now. So Aicy does have the beginnings of a defense set up.
Are we going to see a commit here? That's the question.
We do see the Shade cancel on the ramp there.
The thing is here, Ross is definitely on a clock. He needs to do damage here. This is a huge commitment for Adepts. And he finishes his stage.
We are going to see some Zerglings happen. There are 4 more Adepts warping in the main base that are going to go into the main, but what damage is being done here? The Adepts are seemingly killing the Roaches.
Drones going down, drones pulled. We've got Adepts in the main. 7 drones going down already. This is huge damage for Ross already.
I've lost track. Even I've lost track of all the Adepts, and I'm just observing this game. They're in the natural at the moment. They're in the main. 11 drones going down. We do need to see some more. They are just attacking the Roaches at the moment. We see some more Adepts warped in the base, being shaded away. They're going to finish their shade near the Queens. Will they commit? Yes, they do. So they are going to go into the drone line again.
You see 12, 13 drones.
Meanwhile, there is a 3rd base with an Immortal on the way for Ross. So he is preparing for this to not end the game. He is preparing and moving on his strategy. But 4 more Adepts are coming into the main here. There is enough to defend here now.
Yes, yes. I think Ross should take this, go home, macro up.
But the damage is that 14 drones have been killed. RosscO is 12 workers ahead, which, as a Zerg player, that's not a great position to be in.
But it's certainly not game ending. You know, I think Ross could have got more damage there if he'd committed the Adepts, because there's only about 10 Lings for the first 8 Adepts.
You think that was a bit of a...
Definitely a mistake from Ross. He really should have committed there. I think he could have got another 10 drones at least. But, you know, definitely a playable position for both players.
So we are going to go for an Immortal drop as well. That's going to be interesting to see, because Aicy doesn't have too... What does he have? He has a few Zerglings on the map, but that's about it. I don't think there's many Roaches. Oh, here we do have some Roaches here. And RosscO's just going to chip away with these Immortals. Losing all the Zerglings, actually, as a buffer will be quite big, because you need those Zerglings against Immortals, an Immortal-based army.
Certainly do.
You see Charge coming up with a Forge, so that kind of indicates that RosscO plans to take this a bit later. He doesn't want to end the game just now if he's getting Forges and upgrades and things like that. Aicy is still not really droning at the moment, but he is up to 61 drones. Is that a comfortable amount? As I say that, he has just built 7 more.
You know, you never really want to be equal workers with the Protoss, especially when the Protoss opens Twilight. You really need that drone lead at the moment, and his upgrades are definitely quite behind. He's only just started his +1 and his roach speed.
Yeah, RosscO has only started his upgrades just now as well. So, is it? Do you want to be, as a Zerg player, do you want to be ahead in upgrades? Do you want to be roughly about the same?
I'd say about the same. I mean, Charge is just about finishing up. I think Aicy could have had roach speed and +1 finished by now. You know, it's not awful. I think this position is definitely playable now. If he can survive, get his Bane speed up. It looks like Ross is going to do a push with 5 extra gates. So if Aicy can hold on, I think
72 workers for RosscO on 3 base is there's quite a bit of oversaturation here.
Yeah, that's definitely a little bit of a mistake from Ross. Quite unnecessary having those 6 extra workers.
Looks like there's a bit of lag at the moment while we figure out what's happened. Yeah, it looks like we're just going to go straight back in. I don't think there's any need to switch. Yep, we're back in.
Cool, perfect. So, looks like it's going to be charged Archon push for Ross.
Yeah, there is no... I was going to say, there is no other tech here, but it does look like the Dark Shrine's coming down, so that could be a later plan. This roach speed just completes now, so we do have quick roaches available to defend. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Aicy has much other tech. He's going to rely on basically roaches and ravagers to defend this push.
Yes, I would, you know, as the Zerg player, you really want Banes versus this. Roach Ravager, you know, versus a lot of Immortals and Archons.
Yeah, this is a lot of Immortals we've got here. We're going to have to see what happens here, as RosscO is, he's on the warpath, he is attacking. The army does get split up a bit this way. It looks like we are attacking now. Just more roaches in production here. I do feel like Aicy needs more than just roaches and ravagers and zerglings here to defend this. These Immortals are going to shred the roaches.
Here.
As we do look like we're coming in. This is a nice surround / concave for Aicy here. This might not be an effective fight for RosscO.
Is it going to be enough? We've got 2 Archons cut off here. The Immortals destroying the roaches though.
The Immortals really providing the firepower here. They're what's winning RosscO this game. If we can just...
DTs. We're losing drones.
Drones are dying. The Immortals are coming in.
The Immortals just destroying the roaches.
The base is going to die. There's too many Immortals here. We're warping in an overseer, but it's going to be too late. The Dark Templar are making damage. There are a lot of roaches reinforcing this position. There are reinforcement zealots as well that are attacking. The Immortals are going to start being juggled in the Warp Prism. I think it's going to be enough to clean up the roaches here.
There's a lot of roaches, but they're all in production.
19 roaches in production with a handful on the map already. RosscO's going to split up these units here, distract these other roaches so he can start attacking this base. I'm beginning to think RosscO may have overextended a little bit here.
It looks like Aicy's going to hold on. Just
10 workers dying is not great, but he has held on here, and this is quite a lot of army supply difference here that's on the map at the moment. If Aicy is just going to take this army and go, then RosscO could be in a little bit of trouble. Going to morph some more Ravagers, and it looks like we're going to retake this base. So maybe Aicy's not interested in attacking at this point.
Certainly looked like a bit of an overextension from Ross there, losing all of the Immortals.
Yeah, he's still oversaturated on it. He has too many workers for this amount of bases. 80 workers for a Protoss. That's a lot of workers.
Very unnecessary.
And the main will be sort of half mined out now, so we're on sort of 2.5 mining bases at this point until this 4th base gets up and running. What army do we have for RosscO available? We do have... Okay, so the Immortals did survive a little bit. It looks like we're just building up
near enough the same army.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to just see round 2. I would like to see Disruptors added on, or some form of AoE. It looks like the Templar. I was going to say, I don't know if we have Storm or not, but it looks like they've just morphed into an Archon, so we don't have Storm available. When you're sort of getting to this many sort of Roaches and Ravagers, you kind of do need to start adding in some Disruptors here.
I think if Aicy doesn't add in Banes, you can stay on this composition. You know, Immortal Archon, if you max out with like 8 to 10 Immortals, Roach Ravager just doesn't cut it. You really need Banes or Broodlords, or a really good fight. And I don't think Ross should be pushing in here. There's a lot of Roach Ravager.
He does lose the War Prism. The War Prism gets sniped by the Biles there. That's going to be huge, because RosscO can no longer reinforce these units as they attack. He's going to have to warp in across the map and travel, as we do see a counter-attack up the top side of the map here with a few Roaches. The Immortal does retreat back to the safety of a super battery, so it looks like this is going to be cleaned up, as we have a massive fight now at the fourth base.
By the fourth.
It's hard to tell what's happening here. There's lasers going off everywhere.
I don't even know what's happening here.
It looks like Aicy has too much. It looks like he's chasing the Immortals. Maybe that was a mistake.
Barely going to be a hold for Ross there.
Losing 2 workers, that seemed like a very good trade for RosscO in the end.
Very good trade for Ross. And there's no...
What was interesting to note there was that RosscO's +2 finish, whereas Aicy kind of hit an anti-timing, because his +2 missile attacks has only just finished now after this fight.
Yeah, I really like Ross's position here. He's had a much bigger economy for the last 5 minutes.
Fifth base, as we do see another counter-attack coming up towards the left-hand side of this base. It's just some Lings getting in position, ready for an attack later.
We seem to have good defense by the fifth.
Seems reasonably well fortified, yeah. We do have some batteries and cannons finishing up as well, so that will help defend those bases just passively, without even having to spend any APM or commit supply to defending that. Aicy is getting Baneling speed now. He is seeming to add some Banelings into this. Is this too little too late, do you think?
Yeah, I really would have liked to see Bane speed, you know, 5 minutes ago. Versus a lot of Zealots, Bane's just...
At the same time though, RosscO's army isn't getting any better. It's mostly just the same units, and if Aicy is able to hold this off until these Banelings hit, do you think he will have enough?
It's difficult, you know. Archons with upgrades just are really good against Roach Ravager.
The reinforcing Zealots come from the north side of the map. The Immortals providing all the firepower that's needed. It is going to go to Aicy.
Supply plummeting for Aicy here. We've got a big counter-attack on the fifth of Aicy's here.
Yeah, we totally missed. 23 drones going down. That is catastrophic. This base is going to die to the Dark Templar counter-attack.
You know, I don't think there's enough here for Aicy. He's taken such a big hit to his economy. It's going to be hard to come back from this.
The reinforcement Zealots are coming in. GG is called.
GG.
As RosscO takes a 1-0 lead in this match.
Yeah, I mean, Ross showing his skills there in the mid to late game there. Just Immortal Archon charge. Aicy, I think, failing to transition to Banes. You know, get those Banes out. It does really well against the Zealots, and he just failed to do so. Yeah,
and it started with that Adept push to begin with, which we all know Ross likes to do, and that's one of his core builds that he does against Zerg. Yep. And Aicy probably lost maybe just a little bit too much in that first game. Oh, sorry, in that first sort of push.
Yes.
Just took a bit too much economic damage, really. And he was playing catch-up from that point.
I think the big fight on the fourth, where Aicy just shoved on top of the ramp with Roach Ravager, you know, barely got cleaned up by Ross. But, you know, I think Aicy at that point was fairly all in. And just didn't work out for him in the end.
Yep, as we are getting ready to load up into the second game, it looks like we are ready. The countdown is going to start. So, what would you like to see in this game from Aicy? You're a Zerg player. I know you're on RosscO's team, but let's pretend you're on Aicy's team. What would you like to see from Aicy? What do you think RosscO's vulnerable to? What could he be?
I don't mind Aicy playing a standard game, but, you know, I think in a standard macro game, Ross is going to be favoured, as we've just seen. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing Aicy mix in some sort of tricky build. maybe a Ling Flood or some Ling Bane bust, but we'll have to see. So, getting into the second game, in the bottom right, playing for Red Dragons, we have RosscO.
And spawning in the top left of Babylon LE. Currently 0-1 down, so he will need your support. This is TSI's
Aicy.
Aicy. That really confused me there with that name popping up just as
Yeah.
I was about to say it.
Okay.
So
We have a 14 hatch from Aicy.
So he's not going to get that pro block off on the natural now. What do you think is coming here? I don't know too much about the Zerg build, so what does the 14 hatch possibly indicate could be on the way?
Ling Flood. I spoke to Aicy about this, and this is the build he used against Aigu as well.
This is the build, is it?
Exactly.
The famous build.
This is the build. So I'd like to see if Ross can.
So we have a third hatch before pool here. Very interesting, and we do have 2 gateways down for Ross.
I think Ross knows what's going on here. He's not taking any chances. He's got the 2 gates going down. I believe this is a slow ling push.
Looks like it. We've got no gas coming up, so it looks like we can't even begin researching Zergling speed. Is that that's a full wall from RosscO there?
Yeah, he knows exactly what's going on. He's going to start an Adept, a shield battery. You know, this is going to be very hard. Very hard for Aicy to break through.
I wonder if does RosscO know about the third hatch yet? Is that something he's going to scout with the probe, perhaps?
Can we see the vision?
He has scouted down there towards the sort of line third, and he is going to see this hatchery almost finished and think, wow, this is 3 hatch before pool. This is the build. We just need to defend here.
Okay, we've already got 6 lings on the way for Aicy. 2 adepts for Ross, and he's rallying them into his natural.
No nexus yet, because RosscO is. This is a dangerous build. If you don't respect this, you will just die. It is simple as that. He's rallied the adepts outside his base with no battery, and he does put the nexus down. So this could. Again, Slowling not quite coming across the map just yet.
So what I think's happened here is Aicy's seen that Ross has full walled off, and he's just decided to go into a macro game, which I do like. I don't think there's any way Slowlings could penetrate this wall.
No, this feels like a brave decision to send these 2 adepts across. Presumably Ross sort of kind of understands what build is coming this way, so he knows that there are loads of Zerglings on the map, but they aren't slow Zerglings, which aren't that maneuverable against.
Yeah, he did see the gasless, so there's no way these adepts can get surrounded on the map anytime soon. So I do like the move out. You know, he's not going to be able to have any drones in this third.
So if anything, what this has done is thrown Ross's plans and build out of the window a little bit. This, you know, he's gone 2 gateway before Nexus, well, and Cybercore before Nexus, but it looks like the Twilight is coming down again. We do see Zergling speed starting now. Do you expect to see a flood of Lings now with speed, or is this just a standard Ling speed?
I doubt it. I think Aicy is just going to try and drone up his bases.
Yeah, I suppose the one thing when you go early hatches is you can sort of turn that into an economic cheese from there, perhaps. So this is interesting. We are seeing charge researched here, not glaives from this Twilight Council. So it looks like RosscO is barely mining any gas right now. He has 2 gases.
Yeah, I don't know if... Okay, yeah, this is going to be a charge all-in, most likely.
Yeah, it can't be anything else. We're not mining any more gas.
No.
This game is going to end very soon either way. We're going to see an explosion of gateways come down now.
3 gates, possibly 4 or 5.
Let's see how many gates we have. So he has 2 in his wall, so that's 5 coming down now. So this is going to be a 7-gate charge load attack. We do have a sentry coming in as well. I'm not sure what the sentry is for.
Aicy's going to get the scout off. He's sending the Overlord, and this is huge information. He's going to see
exactly everything. Yeah, he's going to see all these gateways come in. The Warp Prism. He's going to see the Robo. He's going to see the Twilight. He doesn't even. He brings the Overlord back. He sees the sentry. He doesn't want to risk losing it.
He sees
Every supply counts. Yeah. You don't need to see the Twilight and the Robo. You kind of know what's coming at this point, as Aicy.
Just needs to pump pure roaches from this point forward. Which
is what he's doing. There's 9 roaches in production. There will be more very, very soon.
With the Warp Prism coming along, this first attack is going to be the most important. Can Aicy hold on? We've got 3 more roaches in production, 4 Overlords. There's going to be a big warp in here.
The army supply does favour Aicy quite heavily right now.
Ross coming in, big force fields for the ramp. Is this going to be enough?
The Zergling flank from behind is going to be. These supporting units can't support the Zealots here. This is just a straight cleanup. RosscO's not mining gas. He's got no plan to transition out of this. This is a dire situation for RosscO now.
Diabolical from Ross. I mean, really, half the supply.
There is just 13 army supply against 52. He cannot attack. He's behind in workers. He's behind in tech. He was not mining gas. We have an immortal. That's Ross's plan. That's all he can. He has the resources for at the moment.
You know, I don't think Ross expected Aicy to have such a big army.
Do have a pause again. Not sure if this is a longer term pause or if we're going to. Oh, it looks like we're back already. Just as we're back on stream to see our faces, we're going to go back again into the game. Okay.
So, very curious to see what Ross is going to do here. He's going to need to take some big risks to win this game. I mean,
he's locked in his own base here. He can't even get out to move units out, and he is going to kill the. Not sure why he's killing that pylon.
That pylon will not open this wall.
No. It does open the wall. I did not realise that. Okay.
Maybe Ross knows more than we do. Question is Ross going to take a third?
He is going to try and take a third here. I feel like it's his only play. He definitely cannot attack into Aicy and expect to win at this stage.
No.
Aicy has far too much army. His army is a far higher quality than RosscO's right now. The only thing RosscO can try and do is delay this game into and just come up with something that's slightly more favourable for him. He cannot win this game at this point in time.
I think his best hope is Aicy attacks into him. He gets a really good defence off, trades really well, and then he should be back in the game. But at the moment, it's looking really bad. You know, 74 workers to 48. 4th coming along for Aicy. We've got melee, roach speed. I mean, you know, this is looking golden for the Zerg player here. I don't know there's much Ross can do, to be honest.
So what does Aicy do from here? There's that old saying in Starcraft is when you're ahead, you get more ahead. So how would Aicy get more ahead at this stage? Does he tech up?
Exactly what he's doing. You know, he's got bane speed, melee, spines. He's making really good investments into his tech and army here. You know, he's under no pressure to attack Ross. I think he's playing this really well, getting his economy up, getting his army. Just needs to sit back and be patient and not take a bad fight. So
yeah, he knows it's safe. He has all the time in the world. Although he is morphing 20 banelings at once. Could this mean that he's interested in attacking?
I think it's just more like he has the money to make the army. You know, he's already got a good economy. He doesn't really know. You know, Ross could be preparing a last-ditch attempt at an attack.
We're seeing disruptors in production here. The only way you can deal with this many units is this. When you have a disruptor, you always have a disruptor in a dream as a Protoss player.
It's a really good comeback mechanic.
He's going to need more than one good disruptor here, I think, to come back from here.
Quite a few.
The army supply literally more than double for Aicy against RosscO now. And Aicy, it looks like he is gearing up for an attack. The army is moving across the map.
Yeah, I think Ross knows he's going to have to defend soon. You know, he's playing shield batteries, cannons, disruptors. It's going to be really hard to hold on here. We've got bane speed as well.
We're coming in, we're attacking
big fight coming. He's going straight to natural.
The wall is blocked.
Disruptor
does get a good hit, but it's just one disruptor. That's all we have.
I don't think it's enough. with overcharge going down, Bane's rolling in.
We do have Zerglings breaching the main base as well. They're getting on the top of the production of RosscO here. This is just too much Zerg. That RosscO does not have enough army here to defend. The supply is plummeting for RosscO. The army supply dwarfing RosscO's from Aicy. Microing against these disruptor balls. The Zerglings are just cleaning up what's left.
And there's just too much here for Aicy.
Too much here. Morphing Banelings in RosscO's face, saying, I don't want you in this game anymore.
Third goes down. I think Ross is moments away from the GG.
He hasn't breached the main base though. He has held this for now, but at what cost? He just simply has nothing. These bases must be on half bases now almost.
Yeah, these bases not mining very much anymore. Haven't even got full saturation on the natural. This is shambolic for Ross here.
Trying to get some disruptor hits. He is going to get a nice disruptor here. I don't think it will be enough, as Aicy does move across the map. He does try to desperately retake this third, just have some semblance of some economy in this game. Aicy playing this quite passively though. I feel like he does have enough to win this game, but he doesn't want to attack just now. He has more than 4 times the army supply.
You know, nothing wrong with playing it safe.
I went ahead, get more ahead. The Spires coming down. We're seeing defensive spine crawlers as well. Just absolutely trying to hammer home his advantage here, Aicy. Not taking any risks.
Really doesn't want to throw his lead, which I like. It's easy for us to look and see, yeah, he's 100 supply ahead, but, you know, if he loses this game, he's out the tournament. So I really like how he's playing this. Really safe.
Absolutely. We do see some disruptor drop harass, killing 2 Ravagers. Could be worse, could be better.
Just 50 links in production. I mean, just really can see the economy lead.
Is this just a max out and go moment for Aicy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to be building up a bank very soon as well. You know, this.
Ooh, RosscO is getting good value out of these disruptors. They are giving him as good a chance as he's ever going to get to win this game. But I don't think it's going to be enough. We are gearing up for an attack. As another 2 Ravagers go down to a disruptor.
No, I think Aicy's just going to go here. Links surrounding the army. Ravager piles going down.
The swarm is swarming.
Just supply plummeting for Ross here.
This is just... The supply doesn't lie, as a well-respected Starcraft 2 expert.
No, and Aicy's going to take this game, evening up the series.
GG gets
well
called.
played. So what do we think about the start? You know, I think it was clear Aicy was going to go for his Link Flood and then decided not to when he saw the full wall.
Aicy had his plan. RosscO had a response to that plan. And I think from there, Aicy just had a better response to RosscO's response to Aicy's plan. That's ultimately what it was. He had his Lings, he had his 3 hatches, and instead of Link flooding like we think he was going to, he just droned up.
Yeah.
And just built an economy, and RosscO couldn't keep up with that.
I really like that decision from Aicy. You know, it could have been quite easy to just hold down the Linky and then just fail miserably into the full wall. But I like how he tried to make it into a standard game. And, you know, I think Ross slightly over-defended at the start, putting him quite behind. Maybe he felt the urgency to make an all-in attack with a charge, but, you know, didn't work out.
Yeah, very well played by Aicy that game.
Like
do you think we'll see... If Aicy now knows that he can, you know, cause panic in Ross with that strategy, do you think we could see that a second time?
I think we certainly could. You know, it's the last game as well. Maybe both players feel pressured to take some sort of risk.
It's now a best of 1 to remain in the tournament, effectively. So this could... Yeah, if you win this, you stay in the tournament. If you lose, you sadly go home. So this is make or break for both of these players now.
Both players under a huge amount of pressure here.
As the countdown begins, we are getting into game. 1-1 in this best of 3 between Aicy and RosscO. And it does look like the game has started. We are in position. Do you want to do the first introduction, Seb?
Certainly can. So, in the top left, we have Ross.
And in the bottom right, playing on Dragon Scales LE, we have the yellow Zerg representing TSI, Aicy.
Okay.
So
Very interested to see how the players open here.
So to answer the question we had just before this game almost straight away, we do not see a 14 hatch. So it looks like he's decided not to go with that build again.
Looks like he's just going to go for a normal 16 hatch first. Maybe just doesn't want to do the same build twice in a row, which, you know, is very fair
Which
enough.
is perfectly, yeah, that's perfectly understandable. As we just get the scores ready here. As it is 1-1 in this best of 3. In the lower bracket of EPIC38, powered by Intel Day 2.
So we have this game looking very similar to the first game, with the hatch block and Aicy taking a third.
Yeah, so this is where Ross is comfortable. He was obviously in an uncomfortable position last game. He didn't know quite what was happening. Maybe he didn't know the correct response exactly to what was going on.
Exactly.
This is more RosscO style, so he should be a bit more comfortable now, having seen the blocking the hatch, seeing it's not an early hatch, it's not the same build. We can kind of go into a somewhat standard game from here.
Yeah, exactly. And then we obviously expect Ross to go into Twilight from here, but he could definitely go Stargate. You know, play a bit tricky.
He does have a few tricks up his sleeve, RosscO, if he's feeling it. He's not going to do the same build every single game. We're just trying to get some kind of sense of how this game's going to go by seeing who does something a bit weird first, who does something a bit non-standard. It's just a very normal opening from both players so far. I think as we've blocked the natural hatch there as the Protoss player, I think it is somewhat expected to do the glaive build when you do get this hatch block off.
Yes.
So it's possible Ross could do that again. So we do see the Twilight, so it could be that. Could also be DTs. We do know Ross likes to chuck in some DTs every now and then.
Okay. And we have an Adept Stalker, very standard, same as the first game. AC choosing to drone up, so we're not going to see a Link Flood.
Just realised that there is an incorrect score on the screen there, as we've just changed that to 1-1. Just AC just droning up, not under any immediate threat, so just building up. When's the I was going to say when's the hatch timing, and it looks like it has just gone down now. So
quite late.
Is that a late hatch?
That's fairly late. It should go down around 30 supply, so around 230. So I wonder what the reason for that is. Probably just forgot.
Interesting. Continuing to drone as we do see what tech RosscO has chosen to go for. We are going to see Dark Templar this game. It's not going to be Glaives to begin with. So what we're looking for here is for AC to come in and scout this. We do have 2 Overlords that's sort of near RosscO's base at the moment. So he could choose to send that Overlord in, and it probably would die, but it would be able to scout what's going on.
I don't think he'd get as far as the DT Shrine, but a big tell here is going to be the gases, because with Adepts you don't take these gases, with DTs you do. So if AC can get a scout on that gas, you know, he's going to notice DTs.
So we are seeing some Adepts being warped in here. We're just going to see a 4 Adept hit squad move across the map.
You know, there's a big chance that AC thinks this is Glaive Adepts again. And if he doesn't build spores,
just trying to get any kind of inclination from AC to see how he's going to respond to this. We have the Roach Warren, but that's fairly standard for most things. We're not seeing, as you say, we're not seeing spores. We're not seeing a lair.
Versus DTs, you need the 420 spores. AC needs to recognise that this isn't Glaives. He needs to throw down spores right now, otherwise these DTs
there is currently no detection on this map. We do not have detection. These DTs have free reign to do whatever they like.
Okay, he saves the War Prism. There are no spores. These DTs are going to wreak
havoc. The spores are now going down.
Only just gone down. He can just target that spore. This is diabolical for Aicy. The Spore gets
We're
targeted.
getting in trouble. There is DTs in each mineral line now. These spores are not going to go down.
The DTs can just...
These two DTs are just going to
so
break havoc. We have no lair, we have no overseers.
There's no lair, no spores.
Two spores in the main, but there are no DTs there, so they're not helping much.
GG.
There's just a straight GG here. Aicy not able to do any kind of... Just did not have the response, did not have any detection.
You know, I really like that from Ross. Sending the 4 adepts out, making Aicy think that he's Glaives. You know, beautiful play. No spores go down, you know. It's just a free win at that point.
Yeah, what more can you say? There was just... We simply needed to see detection there, and there wasn't any.
You know,
and without detection, that favourite unit everyone has that they lose to just had too much power.
You know, I think Ross using the fact that everyone knows he plays Twilight really to his advantage, and just, you know, the mind games there, brilliant. Brilliant win in the last game. So Ross is going to advance to the consolidation, is it?
I don't know what stage of the bracket we're in. We are going to... I'm not sure if we're doing a winners interview at all. I'm not sure. We could try and get some word on that. We can see... Oh, it looks like RosscO is coming over here.
RosscO coming over.
As we were going to get a winners interview.
Perfect.
Do you want to...
one of us...
Do you want to conduct the interview, or shall I? Yeah? Okay. I will hand over to Seb to talk to RosscO.
GG's, Ross.
Who had a cheesy game. Well played. Thank you. I will pass this headset to you.
Oh God, that was
that was a series and a half for us.
That was squeaky bum time. Oh my God, we're having an absolute nightmare there.
I think. So let's start with game 1. I mean, game 1 really showing you comfort zone with the hatch block, with the glaives.
All going well, yep.
Got some good damage done. You know, 15 drones going down.
Yep.
Turned it into a macro game when you were ahead. Took some good fights and eventually finished it.
I was very happy to start with. I should have went to disruptors, but I was getting a bit nervous, and I thought I'm just gonna make simple A move units. And I'm far ahead. I think I'm doing well. Got a little bit close. There was a really good fight down at like kind of my 4th, 5th area.
Yeah.
That I was looking at it, and I thought I might have lost, but then I was absolutely buzzing when I squeaked through.
Just started evaporating.
Yeah, super batteries were fantastic. It was like pre-patched super batteries in that 4th base, so I was absolutely buzzing. But
it was a great fight.
Then game 2.
Game 2 was this is a very interesting game.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, Aicy did the 14 hatch, and we knew, you know, we'd spoken about this a lot, how this is his Ling Flood build.
Unbeatable build.
Unbeatable build, clearly. And I think Aicy made a very good choice where he just decided to drone up when he saw the full wall.
So I was speaking to him just literally before I came on here. He said that he started doing the build and he looked at the map choke, and he said he was already going to not do it. So he was going to go 6 lings and just drone out of it. Also, I overreacted.
Yes.
Massively. I think if I put the 4 adepts out the wall, it might have been okay. But I overreacted so much that I had 2 adepts behind what I thought was a safe wall. You wouldn't have noticed this probably on the cast, but the wall wasn't even a full wall.
Yeah, the part on
the top. The whole at the top as well. So I overreacted and also didn't make a proper wall. So it was an absolute nightmare game. Aicy owned me that game. He played really well. He deserved the win. The only thing I did well was when the game was over and there was nothing to lose, I was nailing some pretty good disruptor shots.
Yeah,
even though we were about 100 supply down. Even in the game, it felt... I was just hoping he somehow had way less supply, but I went to inside the map and saw, and I thought...
You've got to take risk, you know.
Yeah, I hope it is.
You know, you don't want to get eliminated, obviously. So if it was a ladder game, I'm sure you would have left a lot earlier.
Would have left a lot earlier, yeah. Angrily left, you know. But no GG. But Aicy played really well there. Deserved that win. And going into that last game, I was quite nervous. Because I think the depths went well to start with, but then he pulled it back in that first game. So it wasn't like an easy game. Second game, he kind of owned me. So going into that third game, I was feeling very nervous. And I thought, when you're feeling nervous, what's an easy win? How might you just win the game? Make it look like a deck build.
I love this.
Squeaky DTs in the side.
Really
absolutely buzzing.
No spores.
Yeah.
It was like 440. DTs warping in. No spores building.
I did supply block myself, which again, it wasn't the best, but I had 1 DT. But luckily I had shaded the adepts into the natural to check for the spore. So I was trying to decide which place to send it because I didn't know if he had spores or not.
Yeah.
I did notice he didn't make spores in other games, so that did help it as well. But I shaded in, saw no spore, and even though I supply blocked and only squeaked out 1 DT, I was buzzing. At that point, I felt, yes, man, we're fine.
Brilliant mind game. You know, it must be the best feeling to see no spores.
It's so good. And
just know
it's
the
actually,
game's
as
over.
the Zerg's putting the spores up and your DTs are just hitting them, it just feels like, yes,
There's
I
just
can
nothing-
relax.
Nothing they can do.
I've not really won the game based
hands
on
off the
skill.
keyboard.
Hands on the keyboard,
DTs
Protoss micro. I've not really won the game based on skill, but it's all about the W. It doesn't matter about anything else, so absolutely buzzing.
Brilliant. Well, I think we'll wrap up the interview there.
Yeah, perfect.
Well done again,
Thank
Ross.
you very much.
GGs.
Hopefully see you further up the ladder.
Back
further
in the
tournament.
final for a rematch.
We're
of
back
course.
there, yeah.
But
Go day final.
go for that chair. Okay,
Cheers.
everyone. Well, thank you for watching. We're going to take a half an hour break for lunch, and we'll see you soon.
Perfect.
Thank you.
See ya.